there's so many tools out there that we've created over the years. So it's not just about consulting them, but giving them things that they can just open the door a lot sooner and not save hours and hours of their life that they would have had to use to make these things if they would have known how to make them.
And one thing, Leslie, you're fantastic at is like you are so fantastic at the overview, the high level thinking. And I really like to come in underneath that and just kind of dumb it down because I was that midwife that really like
Right.
jumped into being a business owner. And it's like, what do I do and how do I do it? And I really understand midwives who need the very specific details. And I think like it's, again, this, I love to just use the idea of what it means to be a midwife with a client because I think the model's so similar. You know, it's kind of like when we meet with a midwifery client for the first time, we have our checklist. Okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And then they have their homework. Okay, you need to start researching this or educating yourself on that. And that's a lot what we do as a
Yeah.
consultant is
Yeah.
we say, okay, let's start here. Or sometimes we have clients coming to us and they're like, I need specific help with this
Yeah, they're
specific.
in their fire. And yeah, that's always the balancing you and I have chatted about with consulting work. We may have a 3 to 6 month protocol proposal plan to do with them, but then all of a sudden they come to us. You and I will prep for meetings as especially we're getting going, like, okay, this is the tentative things I would talk to her about. But if all of a sudden she comes in as like, I had this traumatic experience, I have this legal issue, I need help now with XYZ, it's that Maslow hierarchy of need. We can't make them grow and be a better person if they're trying to just survive, put in a shelter and food right now. So that's part of the cool part with consulting. We help you with wherever you're at that moment. So sometimes it's life coaching, sometimes it's business coaching, sometimes it's a friend. Like we just are like, we're that unbiased, objective, like, I want to bounce this off you. I'm frustrated. I need someone to talk to that's outside of my traditional midwifery community. So you and I play many, many hats.
Mhm. Yeah, I can think of a client that I had recently who really had a very specific need. And she just said, hey, this is what I do not understand. She was a new midwife in her own new practice. And she just didn't even understand how to read the explanation of benefits. And
Yeah.
she's like, so what is this column? What is this column? What is this? And we just kind of talked through very specifically what are all of those things and how do you read that and how do you know what to bill, you know, your patient and that sort of thing. And so that led to a lot of just further deeper education. And you know, so I would answer all the questions in the first, you know, 40 minutes or so that we spent together. And then the last 20 minutes I would be like, hey, start thinking about this, or hey, start thinking about that. And we started talking about, you know, streams of income that she could start doing on the side, to also help facilitate, you know, increasing her budget and all of that. And so, you know, sometimes we would just end the call and she'd be like, this is why I hired you, you know,
Mhm.
because yes, I was able to answer questions, but I was also to say like, hey, come on up here, you know,
Yeah.
let's take
Right.
another step a little bit. Yeah, let's meet the need at the time. But like you said, what else can you be doing? You know, how else can you improve your practice? And, you know, it really encouraged her a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's the inspiration. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, they tell me some of the crap they're going through, and I was like, yep, I had the same thing happen to me here and here. And to know that like we can relate to each other and that midwifery isn't this kumbaya perfect world. It's a tough profession to be part of. And we can help each other and bounce ideas. And like I've got a couple of people in crisis moments and they're like, I'm like, you will be better off from this. I promise you, but it's going to suck the next 6 months, but we can get you through it. I'm doing what I wished I would have had in 2017 with my burnout. Like I am very passionate about people that are really struggling and on the verge of quitting midwifery and feeling like they have no life purpose because at the moment it really, really sucks. But when you get through it, it makes you a better person. It makes you look at things differently. It helps out as a ripple effect. And even like an example of where I am now, if I wouldn't have went through that crisis, I'd never be where I am now. So that's part of that inspiration we give people. We acknowledge the crisis they're through. We help them get through it. We help them see the light at the end of the tunnel.